Game started.
All right, David, 1, 2, 3. Let's try d4. Okay, knight f6, c4. What do we get? A Benoni or maybe a Benko Gambit. Benko. Okay, let's take the pawn and push. There was some crazy line with knight to c3, but don't know how to play that. I can play knight c3 now. I mean knight c3 instead of pushing the pawn. The idea with pushing the pawn is to actually keep the A file closed and allow this pawn to come to b3 at some point to alleviate the pressure. Usually there's a bishop here on g7. He hasn't played that yet. I can play e4. The knight on c3 supports e4. Okay, now the bishop is coming.
Server announcement.
Now the bishop is coming to g7. So this knight from f3 often goes to c4. And let's see if he wants to trade. He does. He didn't even wait for me to provoke the trade with h3 there. That's interesting. So I have a pretty solid king side, I think. Let's see. Does he have a tactic against the pawn already? Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes here. Not yet, but I'm going to need to defend this pawn eventually, and then let's castle. And let's get the rook off of the off of a1, and then push the pawn up to b3. And now the rook is a bit loose there. Well, no, it's actually, I can't say that. It's supported by the bishop and the knight. Or his knight's coming in. Probably to this square. Okay, let's get the bishop out. And okay, he's lining up his rooks on the b file, perhaps. And he's regrouping here. I wonder if I can just push on with e5. Pawn takes, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, bishop takes. It's no good. It is no good. And not likely to be good anytime soon. I wonder, he's sort of asking me to play this move, isn't he? I'm wondering if I can get my knight to this square on c6. Knight here. I guess there's no good way to get to c6. From this square, this square, this square, this square. Yeah, so c6 is effectively guarded. So maybe this way. The knight can get to c4 at least. Now maybe he can trade and then push a pawn here, or some trick like that, but his knight is currently blocking the b file. He's moving very fast. He may be confident playing a lower rated player. And maybe he's right. Who knows? So if I go knight c4, he's just going to take it. But what else have I got here? Well, I should think about this a little. I could go for a totally symmetric structure here by taking with the pawn. Queen moves, because he can't really take here. Rook takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes, queen takes. Yeah, I come out ahead. And then I take the rook, brings the rook back, I bring the rook over. I don't know if that's any good, really. He can push his A pawn and give me an isolated B pawn. And this bishop might be a bad bishop, but I still have ideas of pushing ahead with e4 here. So right now, e5, Pawn takes, bishop takes, rook takes, right? And this is defended. The knight's coming in here to hit my queen and this pawn. And I'm going to allow that. From here the knight can go to these squares. But bishop and queen together defend the d-pawn. And this, I'm going to undermine his d-pawn here if he lets me. And I might kick this knight just for the sake of annoyance. Although whenever I kick the knight, my b-pawn becomes a bit weak. So he's going for that. He doesn't want to lose a pawn here, so he's just defending. He's defending d6. So if I kick the knight, where is it going? Here, here, here. It's going to that square. And now, if I take, the pawn is taking, I get a rook all the way to the 7th rank. That should be worth something. He can attack it with his bishop. Still, you have to play a move like that if you've got it. Play it if you've got it. His knight doesn't seem well placed. His bishop can harass my rook. And what I was wondering is if I can get away with the move rook to d7 here, attacking this pawn. It can't be defended. It could be defended by the bishop. And the rook could come here. I would like to get rid of this pawn if I can. He defends with the rook. So I have to take, I think, unless there's a trick here. Pawn takes, rook takes, bishop takes, queen takes. And there's still no trick. The queen is still defending the knight.
Check.
Okay, so that's hitting his knight. Here, 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 here. The knight has two squares it could go to, or we could defend it. Well, David 123 is starting to think now. That's a good sign. Yep. So bishop here to here is possible. But that would leave this pawn a little bit weak. Queen to g3, hitting the... I think just putting the rook on the open file is the smart thing to do here. Queen to g3, ganging up on the d-pawn looks attractive, but I can't get any more force on it. He's just too well defended here. Well, now he's left it a bit undefended. Yeah, let's push the h-pawn. Oh, he can just take that. Ah, that's a silly move. A silly move. Although, okay, there is a point to it. No, there's no point to it. I was going to say, maybe I could take this diagonal here. He's ignoring it. Well, that's lucky for me, really. Lucky for me. Okay, so if bishop takes, that'll leave me with a bad bishop. He's hitting my queen. So I will play my queen over here. And I'll take my bishop. He probably just didn't expect me to hang a pawn for no reason. Maybe I was playing it okay the first part of the game, and he didn't expect me to make a dumb move like that. So I'm expecting him to take my bishop, and then maybe his queen can invade and try and mop up some loose pawns here. But my rook can go to c1 to hang on to that pawn, and my queen defends the this pawn. And he did not do that. Okay, so my rook is loose. He can play check here and win the rook. Knight to f3 check wins the rook. Well, it wins the exchange. I'll take the knight and then I'll take my rook. So I just need to move the rook to a square where it's defended, or put it to a different file, or take the knight. Bishop takes, bishop takes. It's not very attractive. There, the rook is defended there by my bishop. I want to play bishop to g5 here, and maybe get rid of his dark squared bishop and then play h5. Maybe I should just play h5 first. Yeah, h5 right away is good. He can't take it. I'm expecting him to play a5, a4 rather, trying to undermine here. Okay, so he's ganging up on my poor little h-pawn. So he didn't take it before, but now he wants it. I thought a4 would have been a good move there, because I can't take the pawn. My bishop hangs. This bishop is loose. It's attacked by his knight. That might force some exchanges. And I can't move the pawn forward, which is what I want to do. Maybe I just bring the rook over here and defend the bishop. But then pawn takes, bishop takes. Yeah, that still is okay. Would have been okay. Okay, but he went a different way. He brought his queen back, and I pushed my pawn forward. And now he can push onto g5 here, hitting my bishop. He's got two pieces on that square. And I might. At some point this bishop might turn from a bad bishop into a good bishop. For example, here, bishop to b5 there, hitting the rook, and then it's doing something all of a sudden. So if I can make this a good bishop, I can trade this other one off. Might not be too bad. So he just takes my bad bishop. Okay, I was expecting that a while ago. Yeah, okay, I can't take back. I have to take here with check first, because my rook is hanging. I see. He's getting his queen here with check. That might be good for him. I no longer have a rook to come over to c1 to defend. But I'm hitting, I am hitting d6 at the same time. So check drives my king here. And then how does he defend d6? Bishop here. So maybe he's calculating the endgame. Bishop here, bishop takes. Pawn takes, leaves me with a passed pawn. Queen takes, queen takes. I mean, yeah, queen takes, pawn takes. I still have a protected passed pawn here. And I'll take here.
Check.
Should be good for me. So he's probably fishing around for something better to play. Okay, so what can black play here? I think, just going after this pawn is not a bad idea. Queen to e2. Or, he can't go to c3. He can't go to c1. He could also go to a1. Well, he could go to c3, but that would lead to a trade of queens and me winning this pawn. So, yeah, he goes for the trade. Let's take here first. He needs to take back because if he tries to grab a bishop first, I can take with check. then I'll be a pawn up, and then I take the bishop back. Okay, so now I want to take the bishop. In fact, it's forced. The bishop can't go anywhere. Well, I could go here and hit his queen, but that doesn't look so great. Okay, so he wants to play with queens. And, I'd rather play with the queens off in this position. I think my protected pawn there is worth something. So let's see how he can manage this. Can he attack the c-pawn in any way? Here, here, here. All these squares look like they're guarded. And my queen is already guarding the a-pawn, which is important. I can't let him get any passed pawns, or I'll be in trouble. But and he probably wants to play to a1 because he wants to defend. He wants to defend the e-pawn there, and that's the only way to do it. Queen a1 or trade. And he may be calculating the trade and trying to figure out whose king gets to the center first, and if I can really win with that passed pawn. Yeah, he's going for it. Okay, yeah, he can try and get a passed pawn here. So I want to stop these guys from coming forward. So I'm going to push on with this pawn first, maybe. This pawn goes. Maybe this pawn. It's hard to say, and I don't want to waste too much time calculating. Okay, so that's how I thought it would go. He can't advance the pawn anymore, but I can't advance my king. And so this position is drawn. His king can never come in here. Well, his king can come to this square. Maybe it's not drawn. Didn't leave myself enough squares here. Oh, man. Okay, so I go here, he pushes, I take, he pushes, I get out of the way, he queens, and I'm too far away to queen here. I can't go here because his pawn is protecting this square. His king is guarding this square. I can go here or here. I have no pawn moves. And after that, he's going here. But he can never come forward either, so maybe this is still a draw. Thing is, if he comes forward, then I start pushing my pawn, so he's going to be limited to this square. That's as far forward as he can go. If he ever comes to this square, so I'm just going to step back. And there's no, yeah, it's strictly a draw.
Draw offered. Game drawn.
Okay, well, I managed to draw. That's pretty good against a player of this caliber. I will do a postmortem and see where I should have improved and see how he should have improved. See you guys later. Bye.